So in the last tutorial, we look at how we will construct our database. So we made the Golang database Postgres in the PG admin for admin panel. So how are we going to connect and save this data? That is what we are going to look at today. And I'm going to make some more changes over here. So what you need to do is to head on to your main function. When you go to your main function, come here where we did db.clone. This will yield an error which gets clone. So what we are going to do is defer from the defer the clone db clone function. That is what we are going to the changes we are going to make for now. And the next one to do is in this our API that we will define something called. Let's move on to our user data over here. Now we are going to make one file in the data, and that is going to be called model.go. And this model.go, it will have this thing to be called data, and we are going to have a type of model, and that is going to extract. And here we are first going to have user that, and it's going to be an interface. So we are going to define interface, different functions that we want to call over there. So what I will do next is I'm going to create a function in which is going to initialize all the model. So I will just create a new model, and this new model is going to take this one called SQL.db like this. SQL.db, and it's going to return the model. So what we are going to do is to return model like this, and we are going to have the user. And what do we want to replace the user? We don't want to replace the user by the Struct, but therefore the model itself. So what we are going to do over here is to define user model in which is going to have the connection to the database. So it's going to be of type, and I'll call it user model like this, and it's going to be a Struct. And now we want to get the connection to the database. Just we want only one instance of the database. So to get the one instance, only one instance of the database. What we are going to do now is just very simple. Okay, so what we are going to do now is just very simple. So we are going to have our DB, which is from the SQL.db like this. And now in this our model, we are going to use the user model as the one that is going to implement those interface method that you define, and it requires the DB. So the DB is going to be the database that when we call the new model, and not new model, I'll make a new model. When we call this new model, going to pass so that only one instance of the DB is going to be allowed everywhere. And how can we connect this to that? So we will go back to our main, and in the main, you are going to see this app folder. So we will define our model over here, and this model is going to be from the data.model, or going to be from the data.model, and we need to, okay, it's already imported. Let's leave it. to deal with it. So with the error is gone. So when I come to the API, what I can do is I can have the model, and this model take the model over here, return the model. Then we can replace it by the new, and that we will get it by the package data.new model and require the DB. Just put in the DB over there. So this is all what we will do in order to connect our model together. So let's see what function do we like for our model to have? What function or what method do we want to get in our user? Because this one is replacing the user interface over there. So we need to define some method on this one. So the first one that we do is the register. So we are going to register an account. So I will just say register account, and it's going to take a pointer to the user Struct, and it's going to return an error. So this is going to be a model. Forget about the error over here. It means that we have called. So when you have over it, cannot use and it says the user Struct model does not implement the interface. Therefore, you don't have any method that is being implemented on that one. And we are going to have a login method, and that is going to take only not taken the password. We will compare the password later. But over here, what we are going to take is the email. Sorry, forget go email, and that is going to be string, and that is going to return two things. That is, one is going to be the user if it gets one, and also the error if there is any error, so that we can point it out over there. And we are going to get user get. So the get, we will need the ID. So I'll just say ID, which is going to be an integer, and that is also going to return the user or the error. So for now, these are the methods that we want this one to have. We want this interface to get. So we will head toward the user function and then define those models. So we are just going to make the blueprint. We are not going to write it logic out there. So I will just define, and how can we make a method on this user model? I'm going to call it M, which is model, and I'm going to use user model like this, and it's going to be register account. So you can see intelligent, it got it, and it will take user, which is going to be user, and it returns an error. So I'll just return nil over there, and I'll create another function which is also a method on the user model, and that is going to be login. That is going to be login, and that requires email, which is a string, and it's going to return a pointer to the user and also the error. For both of them, we will return nil, and the second one to nil. But then the last method is going to be another func which is a method on the user model, and that is going to be the login. No, that is going to be the get, and the get, it requires the ID. Which is an integer, and that also returns the user and the error. And again, I'll return nail here and nail also for the error. So in this tutorial, this is what we are going to define. We define the various methods, set our model, we set up our model in which we have this model, which the type of interface and different method that we have. And also, we set up this user model to have that so that we can connect to it as before. So what we will do is, in the next tutorial, we will look at defining those and writing our SQL to talk to the database and validating the user input and everything. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channel as we all get it. Thank you for watching and bye bye.